Hey, Karin, can I have your paw? Ooh, that's a very light paw.
All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to the Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. We're playing some Historic today. We're trying out a new card. New card here in a Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice. It's mana for a 2/2. A lot of words. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura with a different name than an aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light-Paws, and then shuffle. So, very obvious commander card. Right, that's cool. That's great. Build your Light-Paws deck. Buy it all, CoolStuffInc.com. Have a great time. But we're trying out the card in Competitive Constructed here in Historic. And this is part of my testing process for the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Set Championship. Basically a Pro Tour with a different name at this point, which is going to be Historic and Alchemy. So we're trying out this new card here in a deck that I've played to pretty good success in blue-white auras in Historic. Pretty sweet deck, mainly just in, an auras like you'd expect, based around Kor Spiritdancer and Sram, send your Edificer. Goal is simple: get Sram in play, get Kor Spiritdancer in play, play a bunch of auras on it, draw a bunch of cards, and protect it. It's really that simple. Really that simple. And we see Esper Sentinel here, a new addition. Obviously, great card in Modern. Great card in this deck because it kind of draws fire. Make sure your opponent deal with this, then your Spirit Dancer can live. Even just draws a card or two here, that's great. It's great against Arclight Phoenix and Control decks, which are some of the best decks in the format. Just a great card. Just a great card. And Savior, of course, for protection. We also see Spell Pierce and Karametra's Blessing for protection as well. So a lot of cheap protection spells, a bunch of cheap auras. Mixing up the auras here a little bit for Light-Paws. Of course, Light-Paws wants you to play with differently named auras. And there really isn't like that much of a selection compared to like Modern or Pioneer. But we got some good ones here. We got a few one-ofs here. Valor the Worthy. A little bit of a bonus if the creature dies. We see Cartouche of Knowledge is pretty sweet as a way to give flying and draw a card. And All That Glitters, a card that, looks like it would fit perfectly in a deck like this, but really is kind of too all-in. It's kind of clunky, and while it can kill your opponent fast, it's kind of usually overkill. You don't really need this effect. But in the deck as a one-off, because it's a great thing it's suited for with the Light-Paws. So, pretty efficient deck. A lot of cheap cards here. Playing Lurrus. Who isn't playing Lurrus? And makes sense because this deck, honestly, would probably look exactly the same with or without Lurrus. Just another deck in the format where Lurrus is free to play. Not much of a restriction. So, we got one new land here in Seat of the Empire. We obviously had Legends in our deck, so it's pretty sweet. We can make this thing cost 2 or 1. Only downside here, it's not a Plains for Glacial Fortress, but hopefully it won't hurt us too much. And Sideboard's got a lot of cheap interaction. We have some Graveyard Hate, Soul Guide Lantern. Cerulean Drake's a great card to have against the red base removal decks because you can just play it and start putting auras on it. They can't kill it. Against control decks, we have Veto and Spell Pierce. Against creature decks, we have Portable Hole and Heliod's Punishment. And then against ETB decks, we have Hushbringer. And pretty sweet card. Solid one. So that's the deck. Nothing too crazy here. Just trying out a new exciting card in a proven shell as I try and pick my deck for the Pro Tour. So let's jump right into the game, see how it goes. First, quick word from our sponsor at CoolStuffInc.com.
Cool Stuff Inc. is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, let's hop into round number 1 here. Cast some auras. See if we can't go nuts on the play. Great. All right, so unfortunately, Seachrome Coast is not a legal card in the Historic format. That makes me very angry, but it's just the reality of the world we live in. So obviously this hand would be insane if we had a white source here and go Sentinel on turn 1, but still worth keeping, I think. So Spirit Dancer on 2, Sentinel on 2 perhaps. We're going to keep this. We're on the play. It's obviously not ideal, but and we're going to play Fortress on turn 1 here, so we can go double white spell on turn 2. We draw Plains, so we can go Savior Sentinel if they seem to be a deck that can kill my Spirit Dancer. Castle Ardenvale, we got a control deck here for you. Alright, so we're going to play land. We're going to cast a Sram or a Spirit Dancer. I think we should play Spirit Dancer. Let's play Spirit Dancer so they go. It's a higher upside one. There's sometimes we want to like pump the brakes a little bit here and try and slow your threats down a little, but I think playing Spirit Dancer is fine here. And we draw 8. They have a strict Proctor. So this is the Lotus Field blue-white control deck, playing the card Lotus Field and strict Proctor. And whenever a permanent enters the battlefield, close trigger abilities triggers. So if you cast an Aura spell, if you cast an Aura spell. So this won't stop our card draw. It will stop the draw off the Cartouche. It doesn't stop too much else in our deck, but unfortunately, again, here we are a little bit hamstrung by our colors here. We're going to lead off on Sentinel's Eyes, I think. I guess Valor's not too bad either. Let's Valor, actually. Let's Valor. We're trying to draw a white land here. That would be ideal. We did it. Cool. Now I play land. Now I have the option of playing Sentinel or Savior. Savior can't really save this because most of the removal will probably exile anyway. Play Cartouche, we won't draw a card, which kind of sucks, so Cartouche is not super efficient. I think we're just going to bang here. Just going to play the Sentinel's Eyes. Drawing Spell Pierce is pretty nice. Arcane Flight? Sure. We'll just pop it. Everything's a draw here, so it's fine. Get in for a solid 9. And now it's Answer this Spiritdancer or die. There's land 3, not a Lotus Field. And of course, now we can just reload next turn on Sram. Still going to march it. Pretty good. We get a 1/1 flyer, which is not really great against the 1/3, but still fun. We draw Staggering Insight. Okay. That's kind of interesting. We could fire up the Sentinel's Eyes and the Insight here on the air attack for 3 and draw. Or we can just play Sram and kind of keep things going that way. That would require us to exile the other 2 cards in the graveyard, which isn't too bad, I guess. They have 5 cards. 5's a lot. 5's a lot. Sram. This is the only way to actually attack this turn. I'm kind of down with this, honestly. Let's just do this. Play that. Play the Insight. And just get in. Now we attack. They want to chump block, fine. And if they don't, great. Deal 3, draw a card. I have a Threatened Blood. Didn't draw a land. Of course, drawing a land there would have been great. Could have got Savior to protect, but it's alright for now. They're going to Archmage's Charm to steal my creature. That is exceptionally rude. That is exceptionally rude. Now they have their own 3/3 lifelinker. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright. We're going to start by playing Sram. We're going to Cartouche Sram. Draw. We draw the Seat of the Empire. Don't get a token, but no big deal there. Yeah, this 3/3 lifelink card drawing creature we've created and given to our opponent is not super ideal. Maybe that wasn't right, given that context of Archmage's Charm. Alright, we're gonna play land. I'm gonna hold on to the Seat of the Empire. I'm just gonna play Sentinel here and just say go. They're gonna get a hit in. They're gonna draw some cards too. It's not ideal. It has Vigilance also, which is pretty gross. Quite the creature for a control deck to have. Alright, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. They drew Lotus Field. Alright, so they get to have a free Lotus Field. No ETB trigger. So they have a lot of mana next turn. And they play Teferi, who slows Sunset. We draw a card. Teferi can untap Lotus Field and something else. Still have 3 mana available. Alright, we draw Kor Spiritdancer. Alright, so we're at least like popping off here a little bit. We play Spiritdancer. We're going to get to cast the Cartouche. Again, not going to draw off the trigger, but still going to get +1/+1 and draw both these Sram and the Spiritdancer. So draw 2. Then a Spiritdancer. And a Plains. Now we're going to play Land Savior. I would love to castle this thing, but I can't castle it yet, obviously. So this is not particularly ideal, but Teferi is also on 5. I guess we attack Teferi. Hello. That's first strike too. I guess I didn't need to play that. Yeah, it's still good. It's very yeah, it's Tactifery, I guess. We're gonna win by chunks, not by inches. So probably just let the fairy go to 1 here. And so you go. This is going to be a really important turn. If we get to untap here, we can really pop off as long as we draw an aura. They're going to cycle, sure. Yeah, that was a devastating Archmage's Charm. I probably didn't need to let them... Probably didn't need to expose myself to that. I just didn't really think about it, honestly. Alright, so here come the clowns. This is going to be a post-combat wrath, perhaps. Some kind. I'm going to untap Proctor. I guess that makes sense to you. Untap Proctor and Lotus Field. Play Narset. Gross. I think we're in trouble. Narset is very, very good against us. Turns off our entire engine. And I think we've lost too much ground here. Again, giving them a spirit was really, really bad. Was really, really bad. They find a farewell. That card also destroys us. Alright, well. They seem to have all the answers. We're going to game 2. We're going to game 2. We can't draw with Narset in play. Farewell kills everything anyway, except for the Planeswalkers, and we are really, really dead. So, go to the next game. No big deal. Boarding some counter spells will be alright. Play a little more carefully the next game. Bring in Spell Pierce, Veto. We're going to cut these. Selfless Savior is only really good against Wrath. The Cartouche is not very good either. Selfless Savior. Savior's like okay, but I mean, Soul Guide Lantern, Portable Hole. Nothing here is particularly exciting. Yeah, don't got much besides the vetoes, so just shave down on a Savior, and then we're going to keep all the glitters in. I'm just going to go down 2 Saviors. 1 Savior at the end of the world, you know? It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I think that if we don't allow them to steal that little mini card draw Baneslayer, we're probably okay that game. Probably. Alright, on the play. It's a nice hand. It's a nice hand. I'm mulligan. Sure. Much better. Much better. Let's keep this. We're going to ship a land here. We're going to ship the... we're going to ship the Seed of the Empire. So if you got Sentinel on 1, we've got Light-Paws on 2, we have an Aura, we have a Sentinel, a Veto. Arcane Flight also works. Land. Just jamming. It's so early that the Sentinel will draw cards if they kill us. If they go like land, Portable Hole, pay, that would be pretty annoying, but you know, without a third land, can't play around everything anyway. So we draw a Blessing. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So we're gonna fire up a Cartouche here. I guess we didn't actually need to target the Light-Paws. You could target the Sentinel there, and then the Aura goes on the Light-Paws. But we're gonna search for I think like Curious Possession here, and now we have a card draw engine and Blessing up. Love to draw land here. Love to draw land. So I Veto up also. Did not. Alright, so the fear here is they untap and play Divine Purge, which would suck. Honestly, we would draw a card off of it, but no way to counter it. Alright, cool. Untap. Staggering Insight. We still have Blessing up. We can play Arcane Flight with Blessing available also. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's play Flight. Gonna spread things out a little bit. They were to kill us in response. I guess I couldn't Blessing it, but we mostly care about Light-Paws anyway, so And there's Light-Paws. We're going to search for I think a Valor of the Worthy. Could just be Sentinel's Eyes. I'll get Valor. Alright, so let's open at the Wrath. We attack for a bunch. No. What's up? Moving to combat. What do you got, opponent? Yeah, so they have March. March pitching a card. And this is going to... The pitching Day Judgment. They're going to pay the 2 on Sentinel, and we're going to blow them out with a Blessing. Attack for 1,000,000. Deal a bunch. Draw, please. Still no land. Alright. Well, shields are down now. Good news is if they Wrath, or they Purge, we draw again. And then the auras go away, but the creature comes in, which is cool. And we are pretty close to killing them. We need lands. They're going to play a Lotus Field without the 1/3, which is a lot worse, obviously, a lot worse. We draw Arcane Flight, that actually kills them. Alright, cool. We'll take it. We will take it. Exaxes. Definitely not the easiest of matchups. Divine Purge is very good against us. And the new March of Other Royal Lights also pretty good against us. But gonna stand pat and hop right in for game 3. Alright, game 3. A little harder of a draw, but mostly making land drops is pretty important. So we can play out our threats, but also have interaction up. It's not great, but we're gonna keep it. Turn 1 Sentinel's pretty good. And then, I mean, Obsession on Sentinel is not exactly where we want to be, but it's, like, fine. Then we draw land. It's not good. Alright, I guess we're kind of all in here, but what are we going to do? Obviously, they have a way to kill this, then we draw a card, which isn't the end of the world, but... Alright, so March draws another land. Alright, we're dead. I said I wanted to draw lands, and I'm going to draw this many lands. So, kind of tough here. Kind of tough. And Narcissus just backbreaking also. So, pretty tough draw here. Our hand wasn't bad enough to mulligan, I don't think. But it's panned out horribly. And, unfortunately, this is the reality of playing Auras sometimes. Is that, you draw 6 lands, 3 Auras, and 1 creature. And now they have Divine Purge also. Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal. We play Lurrus. Play... Oh, they exile my Sentinel. I knew that. I was planning on casting my Sentinel from the graveyard. Yeah. Sure. Either way, I think we're pretty in pretty bad shape here. The combination of Divine Purge plus Narset makes this a pretty tough matchup. If they're able to, they're gonna pitch a card here too, man. If they're able to get the Narset down with enough interaction, and Purge is obviously very good against us. We just need more counter spells. You know, I mean, if we draw Spell Piercers, things are great. If we don't, like drawing 7 lands, it's not gonna do it for us. Just not gonna do it for us. That's okay though. That's okay. Yeah, Divine Purge and Shark Typhoon. Yeah, just no chance to win, actually. Unfortunately. But, yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Not always gonna work out, you know? Need to make this big enough to get through the Shark, which we have succeeded in. Take a minor miracle to win this game. Yeah, March pretty good against us. Pretty good addition for them as well. We're just gonna pop in a Shark and jump block. Sure. Play land. Say go. Yeah, Dovin's Veto and Spell Pierce are absolutely critical in a matchup like this. We've not drawn a single copy of either card yet. I guess castable copy in these post-board games. Gonna let us draw. Wow. Okay. Fortunately, Spell Pierce, not Veto. But we still have some time here, honestly. we can play this 3-mana Sentinel. And then we can put some eyes on it. Eyes on the prize here. Play Leaf Spell Pierce up. These graveyard cards don't matter anymore because Lurrus is gone. Maybe we just go big here, actually. Just double eyes, so now their spell will cost 3 more. And then that might make Spell Pierce happen. Maybe? I mean, considering how good their hand was and how bad our hand was, the fact that we're even still in this game is pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. Divine Purge again. Alright, pay 3. Gonna let me draw again. So really playing around Spell Pierce. But again, we get to like cast Sentinel again, I guess. You know. Divine Purge is good, but it is not an actual Wrath. Creature can come back. 5 mana for Esper Sentinel is not the best deal, but in response they're going to draw 2. Didn't need to happen because I can't draw off Sentinel anyway, but sure. Play land. Play Valor. Say go. Haven't drawn a Sram effect yet this game, but we're still trucking along here. Spell Pierce's viability is dropping by the minute, but still in it. Still in it. Wrath of God. Pay 2. They're playing on Spell Pierce at every turn. Sure. Which is reasonable. But now I have a 1/1 flyer, which is cool. Strict Proctor. Damn it. Nice 1/1 flyer. Oh! Oh, Narcissus still in play. Oh, God, Narcissus, why are you like this? Alright, well, it's time to attack Narcissus and see if we can't make some moves here. We're going to Arcane Flight Sentinel's Eyes. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll exile the creature and the Valor. Play Arcane Flight. They only have 2 cards left, so like there's like an actual path to victory in this game, which is astounding, but attack. Cast 2 Purges and exile the Wrath. They're gonna march Other Warlike. Alright. Alright. Played around Spell Pierce a few times. He didn't play around it this time. And this is before blocks, so they're gonna chump block, sure. So at this point we're just gonna play land as they go. And hope to God that our you know what? I think I play Sram here too. They've already cast 2 Wraths and 2 Purges, which cast Sram. We need to pressure Mr. Narset. That's a land. So you're telling me there's a chance. Play Sentinel. This isn't necessary because they have Narset anyway, but alright. We're just going to attack. And even a Shark type. I guess an Archmage Charm could stop it. The Wandering Emperor. So good news, bad news. The good news is Narset is dead. The bad news is our Sram is dead. Nope, gonna make it 2/2. Sure, that's also fine. Alright, so Narset is dead. And now I get to pants up the... It's pretty funny, it's Vigilance. I get to pants up the Sentinel. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going here. I mean, they actually have nothing left, so... I'm just gonna cast this now, so Sentinel is attacks of 3. And just say go. I mean, like, the fact that we're in this game is ridiculous. Make it 2/2. Play land. Oh my god. We draw our own land. Sure. This attacks this attacks them. So now the Wandering Emperor's dead. They chump block, and it's literally nothing versus my board. And you're telling me there's a chance. They have a lot of mana. Oh my god. Can we do it? To think I was ready. I mean, we also have drawn like 1,000 lands this game too, so we're obviously in a good shape, but There are a lot of nasty top decks here. Wandering Emperor, sure. And it's funny because the Vigilance here is stopping from being a kill spell, which is kind of huge, actually. Make a chump blocker, sure. Castle Ardenvale. That's kind of a problem. So now the Ardenvale means that they can just block the Sentinel over and over again. We just Sram have no auras, obviously, so we're just going to take out the Emperor, attack them. I actually kind of like this. So we're going to attack them and lose our Sentinel, but then we're going to gain the ability to flash back this Sentinel's Eyes with the Sram in play. So I think this is worth it overall. Yep. Try and get a ball rolling here. Emperor is pretty bad against us. That's pretty sweet. A little extra vigilance bonus. Yeah, I mean, matchup feels a little rough, but that certainly helps. Play this. Play Sram. So many lands. Wild. Alright, let's just start going here. Chain some auras. Or, I think he's on. Spell density is pretty high here. Just kidding. Just more lands. Just more lands. Alright, well, once again, they have no cards in hand. So, plenty of live draws in our deck. We've drawn now 12 lands. Kill for a cycling land, that's for sure. There's a fairy who slows the sunset. Alright, so now they can look at the top 3 and find a good one. And they find an answer to my Sram. They're gonna steal my freaking token again. God. All right. Well, we drew a aura at least, so maybe we can possibly chain things here. Let's get things going. Draw a card. It's a Seat of the Empire, which actually isn't too bad. So now I can attack this Teferi. They can jump to save it if they want, which they probably will, honestly. Because they can draw another card at Teferi here. Alright. Sentinel's Eyes returns. I can't do it just yet, though. Smart play by them. Just chuck the Teferi away and try and find a good card. They have a lot of big hits here. Big Teferi, I mean... They keep looking at it. Alright, yeah. So, I mean, not ideal. Not ideal. I'm going to hold this Seat of the Empire here. And no rush to cash that one in. I'm trying to... Almost just a preposterous game here. Like, we have double lands they have almost. Like, I guess they have Lotus Field, but... Alright. Play land. Ah. Spell Pierce. Right on time. Right on time. Pretty ridiculous match. I mean, it's the game 1 too. I think we screwed the game 1 up also. Or if we had just like not walked into the Archmage's Charm, we might have been able to take that one. And the fact that again that we were even in this game, given how this game started, is very, very impressive. The synergy against Vigilance against Wandering Emperor is pretty sweet. Pretty cool little side synergy. Alright, so there you go. There's castling away here. It's a very Time Raveler. Alright, that's it's the nerfed version of Teferi, but still pretty good here.
I've got it.
Got enough cards in our yard to start casting Sentinel's Eyes. If we draw a Spiritdancer. Alright. Well, what cards I got in hand right now? Let's start casting stuff. Exile both Arcane Flights. Draw a card. Better be good. Better be good. Yeah, please. I'd love to. Dovin's Veto, where have you been my entire life, huh? Where have you been my entire life? I just want to know. I just want to know. Alright, so we're going to say go. Unfortunately, Veto and Spell Pierce are currently off because of Teferi. I guess they're off on their turn, not on my turn, because it's the nerfed version of Teferi, but sure. So still going to be a difficult game to win. Our spell density is pretty high. Pretty high. Should be 70% to draw a spell most of the time. Bounce Spiritdancer, sure. Alright, we're at the point now where we have to just start blocking. And honestly, like, we just want to put cards in the graveyard for our Sentinel's Eyes anyway, so... Gonna kill this. Gonna block one of these. They're gonna stifle my castle. Okay, you say so. Alright, at 5. Pretty much dead here. Because they have a rebuy on the Teferi bounce too, so... I think it's almost impossible to win from this point, but we'll try. We'll try. Another Spiritdancer. Okay, we're getting tricky here. So we're going to cast the Spiritdancer. Oh, never mind. I can't do that. It's not a creature spell. So say we're going to Spell Pierce it and then Veto it, but obviously it doesn't work because we have... So if I had Spell Pierce and vetoed the Sentinel's Eyes, so I can cast the Sentinel's Eyes, that might have been a path, but we're just dead. It's alright. So, tough game. Tough game. The fact that we were in that game 3 was actually ridiculous. And it's a testament to like the resilience of the deck, which is pretty sweet. So, well, I don't mind that loss. I don't mind the loss. Played bad in game 1. Almost won a ridiculous game 3. We'll take it. Oh, 1. Alright, round 2. Round 2. Get another spin here on the play. And, yeah, it's good. A little, you know, in-ideal. No 1-drop, no third land, but we can take this. This is fine. This is fine. Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Witch's Oven. You got it, my friend. You got it. Alright, so we're going to lead off on, let's see here. First creature is like kind of likely to die. But we're going to go big. We're going to go big. Let's play Spiritdancer as they go. If they land, if they put Fatal Push it, we still have Sram. It's fine. They don't kill us, best case scenario. So, alright, so we're seeing, this is like the new Rakdos version of the Oven deck, playing Ani called Anvil, which is pretty cool. And we are going to start firing away here. I think actually we're going to Sram here. We're just Sram and then pump up this squad. Yeah, we're just Sram, draw 2 cards. So play land, Sram, and I don't really need to get into the air just yet. I'm just going to go a little wider here. Look at this, draw 2. Once Snowball starts rolling, usually in pretty good shape, you know? Alright, Sarams for days. Pump it up, get in for 3. And once we get to untap here, we start to really pop off. Nice lands. Nice lands. Thoughtseize. A little late. A little late on that one. Take the Arcane Flight, which is pretty good, actually, because now we don't currently evade the blockers. Another Anvil. And I imagine they're going to sack an Anvil or an Oven here. Sure. So, now we don't have a way to currently get through the chump blockers, but we get to go pretty big here, so draw a Seat of the Empire. Indeed. Now we're going to spread things out a little bit. And we'll draw a Valor of the Worthy. And a Sentinel's Eyes, sure. We're going to play the Eyes. I'm deciding where I want to put it. Obviously, we draw an evasive aura. We want the Spiritdancer to get really big, but I might just go on the token, honestly. Just spread it around. As long as we're drawing cards, I'm happy, you know? All that glitters. Sure. Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is nice. We like that. So, we are going to Valor of the Worthy and target probably just the token. So we have power split up across all 3 creatures, and we can't, we don't risk dying to blocks. So we can kind of just get in here, and we're in great shape right now. Just phenomenal shape. They can block some things, sack, but they're taking a bunch of damage. Our hand is full. They go to 9. Whoa. Ghost Rider. Cauldron Familiar. Sure. I mean, they already sacked the Oven, so I guess we could also start thinking about Lurrus to get our Arcane Flight back. Draw planes? Sure. I mean, now we're probably going to all the glitters onto, I suppose, the Sram. Let's just start there. Yeah, I'm not ready yet to pay the Lurrus tax. I only have one card in hand. Another land. And a Sentinel's Eyes. Sure. I mean, Castle to kill Woe Strider is kind of cool. But I'm just going to Sentinel's Eyes the Spiritdancer here, I think. Draw some more cards. Try and find a flying enchantment. There are plenty of those. Second Spell Pierce. Other land. Sure, this is fine. Just jam. Our maximum hand size is greater than 7. Could be worse. Could be worse. Block, sack both. Little drain action. We obviously have huge blockers now too, so. Discard. They're going to Woe Strider looking for an answer here. We have two double Spell Pierce, which is pretty good, so discard both of our Hallowed Fountains. It's going to be pretty tough for our opponent to come back here. They're also out of artifacts. Nope, gonna sack one of the anvils. Make some tokens, sure. They got blocks. We draw Light-Paws. Unfortunately, we don't actually have an aura right now, which sucks because I guess I would put the aura on the Light-Paws, not the anything else. I mean, we're just gonna attack. We're just gonna attack, put Lurrus in our hands. They go out of ores, but you can fire up a land and block if they want to. Do what you gotta do, you know? Do what you gotta do. Scrying top. Scrying top. Anvil. Alright, so there's your hit. Lurrus to hand. We'll play actually, I'm gonna hold both Spell Piercers up. I'm not gonna play Light-Paws. And then we'll just discard our planes. We should discard an extra Sram, I think. Get a castle, go to 6. We discard Sram. We have double Pierce up. Man, Devil. Devil's pretty good. But our stuff is pretty big. Dispute, sacking an artifact, sure. I'm not going to be able to stop my my Lurrus for Arcane Flight next turn, so unless they can kill me, which I suppose is like kind of possible, maybe, probably not, right? Probably not. Land, Lurrus, Arcane Flight targeting Spiritdancer is 9. This is 10, so we'll go here. Draw some more cards. Yep, so cool. Sweet game. Sweet game. We'll take that. So against them, we're going to want these portables. And we're going to want these Hushbringers. I'd say we're not going to want Spell Pierce. This is not really a spot for Spell Pierce. All that glitters. I guess having the one all that glitters is fine. Valor, Flight, Obsession, Insight. Do you want Hushbringer? Hushbringer, what does Hushbringer do? Creatures entering the battlefield not dying. So this just turns off, it doesn't actually do much. It turns off the, if a creature dies, they won't get a token for Anvil. If a cat dies, we won't, when a cat enters the battlefield, we won't get drained for 1. Your control. Yeah, Hushbringer just seems okay. I'm going to cut the all that glitters. It's a little too all in, I think. Sentinel still seems pretty good against them. Flights. I don't really know what to cut, honestly. All our cards seem pretty good against them. Like, Insight might be a little difficult to get through. I mean, the lifelink isn't important. We could shave one of those. And... Flight is really important. Obsession might also be a little hard to get through. On the draw. Let's shave an Obsession, too. They're good at making chump blockers, you know? But I think that's alright. We try to overrun it. But the thing is, like, while we're overrunning it, we're kind of like building a board and drawing cards. They're still blocking, so the Obsession effects don't seem very good. Sure. This is fun. We can keep this. Portable Holes can take out their combo pieces. Hushbringer is just fine. Thoughtseize, sure. So they take the Spiritdancer. It's not good. But still fun. We're just gonna Hallowed Fountain tapped. They know what we draw, but whatever. Now our mana's perfect and painless, so Call of Familiar, sure. And Oven, sure. So I'm just start firing away on these Portable Holes. I'm not in a rush to cast the Spiritdancer with no aura, so just play this, play Portable Hole. Target the Oven. We'll see if they loop both ways. Or just leave the Familiar in the graveyard. Okay, so that's fine. So go. Probably return it, attack for 1. Get a Mayhem Devil too, I guess. Which actually, we have kind of a blind spot to Mayhem Devil. Most of these lists play Lurrus and don't play Mayhem Devil. So, Ravenous Squirrel, sure. Anvil, pretty good. And Familiar, sure. And then we draw Staggering Insight. So, we are going to... I think we're just going to play Spiritdancer Sentinel's Eyes, draw a card. Force them to have an answer to it. Draw. Portable Hole number 3. Now the holes can take out the sack outlet, so I'll be gaining life off the Spiritdancer. So right now, it's just like, do you have Fatal Push or not? They have a second squirrel. So the squirrels get pretty big pretty fast. They do not, so they're out. They can cycle through this token and pump these squirrels up, but we have the answer obviously in the Portable Holes and our creature size that well anyway. We draw a Cartouche, which is good. We're going to Insight though. Play Insight, draw. Sram, cool. And now we're just going to, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can jam here safely. Right, yes. And then we're going to Portable Hole, probably the Anvil. Let's see what we draw, though. Draw a Blessing. Perfect draw. Couldn't ask for a better draw than that one. Hit the Anvil, say go. Now we have a protection spell, so this game's just over. This game's just over. Yep, that's it. Pretty good match for us. Untap, draw a Plains, play Sram, play Cartouche. They have no greens, they can't activate the sacrifice ability on Squirrel, which is a little annoying for them. We're going to Cartouche on the Sram because they're going to start jump blocking, so start getting this thing as a threat also. Draw 2. Draw Valor. Draw Selfless Savior. Alright, the hits keep on coming. Alright, and now you can leave a Blessing and play Savior too. Gaining 6 a turn, not too bad either. There's Jump. Nope. There's Jump. Better Jump. Better Jump, I think. So now we have Savior and Blessing. And Hole if they were Fate Draw and Engine Beast too. So, feeling pretty good. Untap, draw land. I'm going to start with the Valor on the Sram. So we can have 2 attackers instead of 1. And we're not Portable Holding these squirrels here because there's no reason to. We're just like going to hold this for an important threat and just kind of go from there. So, sweet. Pretty clean win. Pretty clean win. Alright, right back to it. Match number 3 on the play. And it's great. Doesn't have any auras yet, but our deck is literally called Auras, so I imagine we'll draw some. Turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Spiritdancer is exactly what we're looking for. Should I play the right land. Fire up a Sentinel and call it a day. With double Light-Paws here, we're going to play Light-Paws first. Blue-white. Okay. Make him deal with this. It's interesting Light-Paws versus Spiritdancer. Like, drawing, like obviously Light-Paws always hits a spell every time. And you cast it for free, too. But it feels like Spiritdancer's like, but it could be anything. It could even be a spell, you know, kind of thing. But, all right, they play Proctor. All right, pretty stinky. We haven't drawn an aura yet. We can just put Lurrus in hand, though, here, I guess. I'm not really interested in playing Spiritdancer because they have the Wrath, which would kind of stink. I think it's just, if I play Spiritdancer, just say go here. We should go land Divine Purge. It's pretty gross, so I just put Lurrus in my hand and say go. Need to draw an aura. Ugh, they have the most field. God damn it. Alright. Annoying. Now we draw the aura. Right on time. Alright. Play Spiritdancer. We're going to Insight the Light-Paws, because if I Insight the Sentinel... I guess Inciting Sentinel isn't that bad, though, because then I split up the threats and still put an aura on this. The problem is that they have an Otherworldly Light to exile this. I'll still draw a card, though. I'll draw a card off this, too. I'm gonna go wide. Let's see what they do here. So we're going to draw. It's a land. Alright. Oh, right. I'm thinking of Hushbringer. Well, that's pretty freaking annoying. So Proctor turns off Light-Paws. I don't know why I didn't process that. I was just thinking of Hushbringer. Not affecting creatures. That's pretty gross, actually. That's pretty gross. So Proctor turns off Light-Paws. That is a pretty strong count against the card. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Now they have 6 mana on turn 4, which is the thing the control deck should never have access to. Untap and we draw another land. Yeah, we just can't draw too well against this control deck, can we? We just can't put together a decent hand. Alright, I mean, we're going to attack again and just say go. Doesn't feel too good. Does not feel too good. You're up, my friend. I'm going to steal my Sentinel. Typhoon for 3. This could have blocked, so they must have some in-speed interaction they want to keep up. Proctor number 2. So Light-Paws is incredibly embarrassing now. Draw another Spiritdancer. Yay. Alright, let's just play this and say go. If they have Divine Verdict or Divine Purge, we can just recast things. If they have a Wrath, there's not much we can do, really, at this point. We can Lurrus things back. Shark for a 2/2 Shark. Interesting. Obviously, drawing an Aura would be not too bad. Not too bad for us. Or land. Land's cool, too, I guess. Tough games. This game's control deck. Tough games. It shouldn't be that bad of a matchup for us, honestly. Like, they have a lot of really good tools against us, but, like, between Spell Pierce and, you know, Dovin's Veto, we definitely have possible answers. We're just dead here. They just have 5 cards in their hand. We're super dead. That's fine. Alright, tough game. We drew 8 lands and 1 aura. So, Light-Paws being bad against the Proctor's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. We're going to shave the Light-Paws. We're going to bring in, what, Spell Pierce, Veto. And Saviors aren't great. I caught like Glitter, Savior last time. Or a Savior. I guess I'll just use 2 Saviors, I think. Light-Paws is still like fine. We have no interest in trying to kill the 1/3. It's just like not a very, it's whatever. It's the card, you know. Let's try this. Try this. Maybe you guys just draw Spell Pierce before turn like 15 this game, you know? That works. You can try that. On the play. Sure. Yeah, that's great. Savior into Spiritdancer is kind of like the ideal draw. Obviously, they are removal exiles. So it's not as good, but... Pay 2, ship it. They mulligan to 6. Bark, bark, bark. Dog, dog, dog. Just Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is kind of nice. Right, we're going to Spiritdancer and say go. Next turn, we have access to Sram, Sentinel's Eyes, or we can start playing Auras and leave Spell Pierce up, which is also pretty great. Draw Light-Paws. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. So, maybe I made a mistake here. Maybe I should just play Sram, so I can just act for 3 of his turn, deploy the Spiritdancer with Spell Pierce up, and then untap and start to go off. Because now I feel weird. I don't really want to cast an Aura here. Now that I have 2 2-drops in my hand, I guess we could just like cast it. But I guess we're just going to cast it. It's like kind of hard not to. But right, we're going to draw an island. Alright, we attack. Again, a little light on the aura draws here, but cycle farmland, no problem. And Spell Pierce is going to be pretty clutch here. Shock. Go. Draw Sentinel's Eyes. Okay. I think we're in a jam now, so we're going to play land. I think we want to Sram over Light-Paws. Light-Paws has the problem, too, of, like, we want to draw into more interaction in these post-board games, especially. It doesn't really do that. It's also worse against interaction, too, because, like, it puts the aura on itself, which is, like, super awkward. They're just going to charm my Sram. Sure, that's fine. Sentinel's Eyes. Pop it like it's hot. Draw. Get in for 7. Present lethal with Spell Pierce up. We'll do that. We'll do that. I was saying Spell Pierce was important. I wasn't really kidding, you know, when I was saying that before. It's pretty important in these control matchups. You draw Spell Pierce, you're usually good to go. You should probably have more Spell Pierce in our deck overall, honestly. Because that was just a Spell Pierce game, which wasn't even close. Without Spell Pierce, that game is going to be pretty difficult to slog on for a while. With Spell Pierce, super easy. Barely an inconvenience. All right, now we're on the draw. Now we're on the draw. Which is not as ideal, but yeah, Light-Paws, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's better than Cerulean Drake is, or whatever it's called. Not Cerulean Drake, the Storm Chaser Drake. Alright, well, we got matching mulligans here. Oh my god. That is a hand. Oh, Chef's Kiss. That is a hand. We are on the draw, and they've mulliganed to 5. Obviously, I would love to go turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Sentinel, Sentinel. But turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Sentinel, Spell Pierce, turn 3 Sentinel is pretty good also. Yeah, I'm not going to chip a Sentinel here. I'm just going to chip the land. We could just draw a white source also. And I'd rather have this land in my deck than in play, so. Alright, here we go. Alright, they go to 4, actually. Alright, I guess this makes up for our bad draws in that first match. One of them against a 4. We draw a land anyway, also, so, Sentinels ahoy. Sentinels ahoy. Kind of like the Sram doesn't need auras to draw cards, you know? And Light-Paws. Light-Paws, but no auras. It's fine. Alright, we're just going to Sentinel here. Let's see what's up. Then I'm probably going to let Spell Pierce up. We're not going to... they're going to Force Spike me. Sure. We draw a 4th Sentinel. Also sure. So, we're going to just play Sentinel here. Because if they Divine Purge me, I draw 2 cards. And the Sentinels are so castable. It's not like they go away forever. So, there's Proctor. Proctor Lotus Field? No, not even. Not even. Although it does stem the beats a little. Yeah, we're going to Light-Paws and say go. Divine Purge. Alright, so draw my cards. We draw Blessing. We draw Obsession. And we're going to Spell Pierce that. Yeah. Good old Spell Pierce. Probably want more Spell Pierce in 75. I think that's just the thing we've learned today. And deck seems sweet though. I'm definitely not completely sure about Light-Paws though. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, it's the fact that it can only put the aura on itself is a little sketchy. And then again, there really is the when you're building your deck, it's very important to think about the deck not only for your main deck, but also for your sideboard games. You know, and Light-Paws isn't nearly as good in your sideboard games because it can't help you draw into your Vetoes and your Spell Pierces and your Portable Holes, you know? Whereas Spiritdancer and Sram almost get better in your sideboard games. You're drawing into more sideboard interactions. So, on the whole, not sure about Light-Paws. We didn't make too many deck building in sessions. We're just playing the one All That Glitters, which is fine in the deck anyway. We're playing the one Cartouche, which is also fine. You know, it's just a little bit worse in session. Better occasionally. And we're playing the one Valor the Worthy, which is also a card that's like, it was just fine for us there, honestly. We didn't really ever search it up. We just kind of just drew it, and it was fine. It was fine. So, seems fine and not that much of a commitment. Is it better than the Stormcatcher Drake? That I'm not sure. Drake is obviously having flying built-in is kind of cool. Being blue is engraved. It's pluses and minuses for sure. But all in all, I'm not completely sure. Does seem pretty good, but it seems worse than post-cyber games. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. Kind of a weird card. Again, I really don't like that it can only put things on itself. Because a lot of the play sequences you often end up with in this deck are you play a Sram or a Spiritdancer and play an aura on it immediately. To kind of like try and draw more cards and stuff like that. So, not sure. But deck still seems great to me. I would not be surprised if it's the deck I registered for the Pro Tour. Realistic Lab working a little more on Alchemy. Not that I'm working that much, honestly, because I'm pretty busy this week. But, you know, and with a dual format tournament, it's usually best to just kind of focus on one format and just kind of take what you know on the other one. I play this deck a lot. It's also pretty good. So it's probably where I'll be. We'll see. I don't know yet. Obviously, I have no idea. But I'm playing the Neon Dynasty Set Championship, which is coming up this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. $20,000 for first place. They'll be doing coverage, things like that. I can't stream it because it's going to be covered. But hopefully I'll be on coverage. You can watch me there. So, folks, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. As always, promo code Jim5, 5% off your order. And check out the companion article goes to this video as well on CoolStuffInc.com proper. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.